John Wick is a character who's not to be trifled with. A stone-cold hitman with a ruthless streak, he'll stop at nothing to get revenge. John Wick is a force to be reckoned with, an enigmatic figure who embodies both the darkness and the light. He's a man of few words, but his actions speak much louder than any words ever could. If you cross him, you better be prepared to face the consequences. But what makes this character so intriguing? Is it his legendary reputation as the boogeyman of the criminal underworld, or is it the heart-wrenching tragedy that drives him on a path of vengeance? In this video, we'll dwell deeper into the psyche of John Wick and analyze what makes him one of the most fascinating characters in modern cinema. So embrace yourself and get ready to enter the punching world of John Wick. John Wick, a celebrated figure in contemporary cinema, is a titular character of a neo-noir thriller series created by Derek Kolstad and portrayed by the talented Keanu Reeves. Praised by critics as a unique amalgam of a central boogeyman character and a modern action-oriented equivalent of 80s horror franchises, Wick almost had an older lead until Reeves, in a career slump, took on the role of a grieving assassin seeking revenge. Reeves was chosen to play a 75-year-old, but instead opted to play a younger version of the character at 35, resulting in one of the most successful action movie series of all time. John Wick was originally the nickname of director Chad Stahelski's friend, who was killed by a reckless driver. The signature firearm of John Wick is the custom Heckler & Koch P30L, a deadly beauty with a custom compensator and extender magazine. He is a deadly combatant, deftly wielding handguns, rifles, knives, and various other forms of weaponry, as well as being a proficient fighter in hand-to-hand combat. His penchant for tailored dark suits, often outfitted with ballistic armor, only adds to his formidable image. The franchise offers a tribute to Reeves' previous work with nods to The Matrix, Speed, and Point Break. The series revolves around Wick's violent quest for revenge after a gang invades his home, steals his car, and kills his beloved puppy, gifted to him by his late wife. Wick's resulting re-entry into the criminal underworld pits him against the international organization of assassins he once belonged to, resulting in a gripping, high-stakes narrative. Mr. Wick is a violent killer with a humanistic dimension, as evidenced by his devotion to his wife and the tattoo on his back that reads Fortis Fortuna Adiuva. His multilingualism, demonstrated by his command of English, Russian, Italian, Japanese, and American Sign Language, further imbues his character with a sense of worldly sophistication. He has a moral code and a sense of loyalty to those he cares about, including his wife and his dog. Despite the inherent danger of his profession, Wick's affable nature allows him to forge lasting alliances with notorious individuals like Marcus and continental hotel managers. This amiable persona also facilitates his ability to establish and maintain vital connections within the assassin community. In the movies, John Wick is known for his code of ethics, and when he gives his word, he follows through with it, even if it means putting himself in danger. His reputation for keeping his promises precedes him, and his enemies know not to underestimate him. For example, in the first John Wick movie, when John is tasked with taking out the Russian mafia boss Viggo Tarasov's son, he initially declines the offer, but when Viggo insists that John owes him a debt, John reluctantly agrees to take the job, knowing that he cannot go back on his word. Furthermore, his strong sense of ethics compels him to prevent any harm to innocent bystanders during his undertakings. Notably, Wick's Myers-Briggs personality type is classified as ISTP. John Wick's evolution throughout the franchise is characterized by his growth as a character and the increasing complexity of the world he inhabits. John Wick is a retired hitman who is pulled back into the violent world after the death of his wife and the theft of his beloved car in the debutant film. In the second film, John's world is expanded to include the High Table, the governing body of the criminal underworld, and the rules and codes of conduct that govern it. In the third film, John is on the run and fighting for his survival after being declared excommunicado from the criminal underworld. In the latest chapter, John seeks revenge against the High Table and travels to Morocco to kill the Elder. The High Table declares him excommunicado and destroys the Continental Hotel. John fights through assassins and challenges de Gramont to a duel in Paris with the help of the Rusca Roma family. But what happens next? We won't spoil it for you. Try not to miss his punches on the big screen. Although being a true badass, his personality is nothing short of impressive. From his sheer determination and tenacity to his unmatched fighting skills and unwavering loyalty, John Wick is the ultimate anti-hero. He is a character that exudes numerous positive characteristics, making him an icon in modern action movies. Some of the most notable traits that make him stand out. Unbreakable will. Throughout the John Wick movies, we see him go through an incredible amount of pain and suffering. He's constantly beaten down, shot at, and outnumbered, yet he never gives up. This man has an unwavering determination to see his goals through to the end, no matter what obstacles are thrown his way. In John Wick Chapter 2, John Wick is forced to fight his way out of an assassination attempt by Cassian in the crowded subway. Despite being outnumbered, he fights with incredible perseverance, never giving up until he finally defeats Cassian and escapes. Resourcefulness. John Wick is a master at making use of whatever he has available. From using his surroundings to improvise weapons, to outsmarting his enemies with strategic tactics, he always manages to come up with a plan on the fly. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty, and is always ready to think outside the box to get the job done. In John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, John is stripped of his resources and is forced to improvise in order to survive. He uses his surroundings to create makeshift weapons, including a horse as a weapon, and even turns a book into a bulletproof shield to protect himself. Loyalty. John Wick is a man who values loyalty above all else. He is willing to risk his own life to protect those he cares about, and never forgets a debt owed to him. Even in the face of danger, he will never turn his back on a friend, and his sense of honor is unwavering. John's loyalty to his dog is his driving force for revenge against the men who killed him. He goes to great lengths to protect his dog, including killing several men in a bar brawl, and even risks his own life to save the dog from being killed. Precision. John Wick is a master of his craft. He's precise and efficient in his movements, making every shot count and every blow count. He never wastes a single move, and his precision is what sets him apart from other assassins. In John Wick Chapter 2, John demonstrates his precision in a gunfight at the catacombs. He takes out his targets with surgical precision, making every shot count, and never wasting a single move. Perfectionism. John Wick is a man who strives for perfection in everything he does. He takes pride in his work, and he never settles for anything less than his best. He's always looking for ways to improve and hone his skills, making him an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. In John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, John works tirelessly to improve his skills, taking on challenges such as fighting off multiple attackers at once and surviving a brutal knife fight. He's constantly striving for perfection and never settles for anything less than his best. While John Wick may be a hero of some, he is not without his flaws. His brutal and violent nature often leads him down a dark path, and his quest for revenge can become all-consuming. Here are some negative traits of John Wick, with examples from the movies. Recklessness. John Wick can be reckless at times, often putting himself and those around him in danger. In John Wick Chapter 2, he attacks Santino D'Antonio in the Continental Hotel, violating the rules and putting the hotel at risk. His actions result in his excommunication from the assassin community, leaving him without any support. Obsession. John Wick's obsession with revenge can be all-consuming, driving him to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. In John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, he's willing to kill anyone who stands in his way, even if it means taking on the entire assassin community. His obsession with revenge leaves a trail of destruction in his wake. Violence. John Wick is a highly skilled killer, but his violent tendencies can get out of hand. In the first John Wick movie, he kills over 70 people in his quest for revenge, including innocent bystanders. His use of excessive force often leaves a wake of destruction and loss. Emotional numbness. John Wick's past has left him emotionally numb, making it difficult for him to connect with others. In John Wick Chapter 2, he is shown to have a deep emotional attachment to his wife, but this is the only person he truly cares about. His emotional detachment makes him cold and distant, leaving him unable to form close relationships with others. Impulsiveness. John Wick's unwavering determination in seeking revenge is both his greatest strength and weakness. He often pursues his targets relentlessly, without considering the consequences, such as killing Santino on Continental grounds, resulting in serious repercussions. Overconfidence. John's overconfidence leads him to make risky decisions such as seeking allies and revealing his plans to take down the High Table. He believes he can take on the organization alone, despite the potential consequences of his actions. John Wick is a beloved and popular character due to Keanu Reeves' intense yet restrained performance, the character's complex backstory, the movie's action sequences, the use of practical effects and minimal CGI, the painstaking world building in the franchise, and his moral code and sense of honor. His deadly skills make him a compelling and sympathetic protagonist. What do you think of Mr. Wick? We would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments below and let's start a conversation about this beloved action hero. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.